I don't want to use the word retarded here.
Breaking. This is Unrelenting. We have Zelensky in the country. What is going on? I am Darren O'Neill. He is Gene Naftulyev. We will break it down for you in every last minute detail. Do we know when Zelensky got in? What did he have for breakfast? Did he drink coffee? Gene, over to you, Gene. Are you on the ground?
I'm not on that ground, that's for sure.
A lot of people really excited.
I watched the Trump stand-up routine with here last night, and it's interesting. He avoided every question about Putin. Did you see that?
No, but it doesn't surprise me because
the reporters are typical, right? So they're like, so when Zelensky arrives, are you going to apologize to him for calling him a dictator?
No.
When you've been friendly with a real dictator like Putin. No, they don't say Putin. They say Putin.
Putin. With disdain. Putin.
With the Putin. And Trump just skipped shit like that.
They don't understand diplomacy, or they do and they want to just push their narrative. Because when you're dealing with anybody, see, now if I'm dealing with Gene and I'm like, I'm trying to get the best deal I can out of you, I don't insult you.
Disparage me?
Right. I'm like, hey, Gene, you're looking good. You've been losing some weight, buddy. Oh, man.
Oh, wow. You noticed the half a pound, huh?
I love the way you've been running that country of yours, man. The press, the people, they just don't understand international diplomacy.
They really don't. They're a bunch of morons.
They don't understand that.
Bunch of simpletons.
Well, they also don't understand, and this shows you that Zelensky has zero power.
Oh, never did.
And he's going to disappear shortly. So he's playing his part in this play. And he's doing it very well, and he'll probably be handsomely rewarded. He'll be one of those oligarchs that's going to buy the $5 million gold card.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. He'll probably even get a discount on it.
That's part of the deal. He gets the gold card thrown in.
That's mostly why he's here, to negotiate his gold card.
Zelensky is going to have a penthouse apartment and a Trump tower somewhere.
Zelensky owns 18 properties in the United States right now, including a very nice compound in Florida. That's rumored to be worth about $15 million.
Oh, so maybe he even has like I said, maybe a penthouse in one of the Trump towers.
No. Well, I mean, he may, but yeah, the Florida house is very nice. But
how many times have you visited?
I've never visited, but I've got drone footage.
Oh, well, that's got it direct from Vlad.
That's right. Yeah, vitamin X here. Got to get some vitamin X.
Little liquid death in the morning. I already took my B12.
It's not good for you. I've sent you an article about it.
About what?
Liquid death will kill you.
Everything will kill me.
Well, but this more than others.
The EU will tell me that coffee will kill me.
Oh, coffee will kill you.
Because caffeine is bad.
No, just coffee.
I still contend that the EU is saying caffeine, which
pill
is even
form caffeine is recommended.
The liquid death compared to popping a Mountain Dew, like 100 times more healthy, I believe.
Oh yeah, Mountain Dew for sure.
So it's little steps.
What were we talking about?
Your B12. You were going to take your B12 very quickly.
Oh, right.
Zelensky's properties, multiple properties, huge properties, beautiful properties.
This is going to be a different kind of show because
the freedom-loving state.
I'm drinking coconut water right now instead of iced tea.
Ooh. Did you get a special? Did your delivery accidentally bring you 14 gallons of coconut water?
Sort of. I got some yesterday with a meal delivery, and it was the wrong brand, so it's not the coconut water that I like.
Oh, this is the peon type coconut water that doesn't.
This is the Vita Coco coconut water, which tastes like shit.
Yeah, you know what? You're correct about that. We bought a case of that at Costco about 3 years ago and was like, not all coconut water is created
It's
equally.
basically coconut flavored water is what it tastes like.
It is great for
real
hydrating.
Coconut water has a little bit of coconut in it and tastes awesome.
You want to get the better coconut. Which is your preferred
From
brand?
Mexico. Yeah, the Mexican one.
The Mexicans do coconuts
It comes
better.
in a white colored steel can.
So you can use it as a weapon also when you're done.
Well, you can't crush it, that's for sure. Damn thing is hard.
It's actually made out of real metal then, unlike
Actual steel.
These water bottles now.
Yeah.
That I'm not even sure how physically the bottles hold up until you drink the whole thing without just disintegrating because they're less than paper thin at this point.
They're super thin. Yeah. Yeah.
And so annoying. You can't use them for podcasting.
They're basically water balloons.
Yeah. And they crackle.
And the only thing holding them up is the water.
Once the water's gone, the bottle wants to just disintegrate.
So I sent you a picture of YouTube comments yesterday.
You have a lot of people being nice to you. What's that all about?
Yeah. What's that all about exactly? Is that, I'm finally getting some respect the way I deserve on YouTube.
Got some respect.
Which I don't get from my co-hosts on my podcast.
I mean, you singularity to that, though, yesterday when you said co-host. And I was going to be like, you mean co-host, obviously.
Oh, like you give me respect.
Oh, all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
All the time.
You came out of the door.
I'm going to read some of these just to prove that people like what I do. So here's the first comment. This is on the video from yesterday. So I clicked this to come and make some snarky comments, ... I apologize, ... This video has been incredibly informative. +1 sub, my dude. That's a typical comment I get.
I don't understand.
Next comment. Literally in a row. Absolutely the best FC video out there. Could not live without mine. I totally changed the game for me. Great timing too, as I needed something ED related to watch. ED does not stand for erectile dysfunction. Before you make jokes.
Like what kind of content have you moved to, Gene? I was like, this is obviously Gene found his people.
ED content, obviously. What are you talking about?
Do you play video games? Does your dick not work? Watch this channel now.
Does your dick not work?
All of your
next one
problems will be
real
taken
nice
care of.
guide. I played ED Horizons, blah 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 blah. This was a good refresher. Next one. Good guide. Been looking for something like this on carriers for a while now. Thank you. Next one. An amazing vid, dude. I love your details. It's just like, this is my normal interaction with humans, unlike you and Ben.
But I'm curious, how much did you have to pay for these comments? Which service did you use over in, was it an Indian company, a Chinese company?
These are totally not AI written reviews. And you can tell because they don't say, I bought this video for my husband. He loves it.
It was great.
It was great. Yeah.
It fulfilled all of our needs.
The Amazon reviews are freaking hilarious.
We no longer have any ED problems at all. Nice.
He loves it so much, he will be buying another video. Watching another video.
So you're amazed that people comment on YouTube video. It is.
I'm not at all amazed. I'm seeing this all the time. I just thought I would remind you guys that you're dealing with greatness here.
I just think it's interesting that YouTube
I'm a media barely star. So keep that in mind.
That YouTube somehow, NetNet says he does really respect your opinion on ponchos and truck simulators. So, you are...
Okay, well, that's something.
You got your niche. You're working on more.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that there is such a community on YouTube, and it's not just your videos. It's Bandrew stuff for the audio, for, the random Lego guy. There's rarely will you find videos, even with very few watches, or very few subscribers, you'll still find a bunch of comments on videos, and it's kind of wild because we encourage commenting.
It's going to get better. I'll tell you one thing I just noticed. I'm not sure what day they released this, but it's fairly new to YouTube. They just added a new community feature. So you've always been able to post little text messages or images on YouTube as a content person on your channel. So you don't just have to post videos. You can post, pictures or little messages. They just added a feature that you can enable. It's off by default for every channel, but you can turn it on. That allows then people to start communicating with each other. So they're trying to turn YouTube into more of an X type experience.
And I understand why, because X is doing well no matter what the people on the Blue Cries want to tell you. Elon ruined it. Yeah. He lost his audience. Elon ruined it.
Yeah, I mean, X is more active than ever. I don't understand how anyone could possibly think otherwise.
But it is bizarre how it seems like people think it is a community on YouTube. And half the time, there are some creators really good at it. Usually those are the ones that are not making anything more than a few bucks. The ones that do it for fun, like Bandrew, way more interactive. The people, once they're making these six figures and up, they just don't even have time to respond to the amount of comments coming in.
No, they don't. No. I respond. Not only do I respond, I usually respond within about 5 minutes to somebody posting.
Well, unless you're sleeping. Or does
it
wake you up?
The only reminders on my phone. Yeah, exactly.
It's an AI.
That's one of the only reminders on my phone that actually pops up.
AI Gene will reply immediately. Gene has a new podcast. He used Grok.
Yeah, I'm about to.
And
I'll probably do it on Sir Gene Speaks, but yeah.
Well, but see, this is it. He's created 2 different Sir Gene AIs, and they just talk to each other 24/7. So you have to get the live stream. It never stops. They never have to stop to eat. They never have to stop to pee. It's just nonstop Sir Gene AIs going back and forth with each other. Wouldn't that be genius?
Well, yes, absolutely.
The more fake Gene you can get, the better.
Well, when I did that, I posted that little clip. I posted a few clips. Grok, when they added the voice to Grok, it really added an interesting dimension to it, because you can finally now get Grok that is more lifelike, let's say, than what you would expect. And yesterday I posted a little video, or I can't remember if I just sent it to you or if I posted it on X, but
probably basically both, but I got it.
Probably both. Yeah, exactly.
And I couldn't even, at first I was like, is that you talking to it? Because you just, no. This thing was like going on and on and on. And all of a sudden, every now and then I'd hear, what do you think it is? And I'm like, is that Gene talking to the AI? Or is that an AI talking to an AI?
That's an AI talk. That was 2 different AIs on 2 different iPads talking to each other.
This is the future of electricity wasting.
Didn't have to do a damn thing. I could just let them talk to each other. They're very good at, talking. So I had the Grok with a chick voice, and I had the Microsoft one with a male voice, and they just had fun.
It's the future of pod. You thought I was going to say PayPal. You thought YouTube and podcasts and these kind of things were filled with AI garbage now?
Yeah.
You wait. Oh my God.
I think podcasting is going to quadruple in size once AI spoken content starts to come in there.
It's very interesting, really. But again, AI does not think. Always have to point that out. And I did on my latest episode of Random Thoughts, which is almost as good as Sir Gene Speaks. But I was intrigued.
It's on more frequently.
This is true. It comes out about every week where Sir Gene Speaks once a millennia or so now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But there was a question about a bakery that has been in the area here for a long time. And I'm like, well, how long have they been around? So I did the thing. I went to the internet and I found the bakery's website, because almost everybody that's been around more than like 2 years will have like, we've been serving the area since.
Right.
Nothing on their website. I'm like, well, how long have they been around? So I went and I asked Perplexity, how long has this bakery been in this city? And it came back, I can't tell you. I can't find it. I was like, wow, okay. So I went to the other AI and I put something in and it gave me an answer. And then I looked at how I had phrased it and I went back to Perplexity.
Okay.
And said, when did this bakery in this city open? And it immediately gave me the answer. I'm like, see, it cannot think. It does not even understand the basics, that the question, it didn't understand that another way to find the answer I was looking for, how long has it been here, would be to find out when it opened and do the math.
Well, when it opened, to be fair, could also indicate a time in the morning.
In the morning, but it was a date in 1977. So, I mean, that shows, again, it's not 24 hours a day, I assume. No. How long has this, the framing of the question, how long has this bakery been around? It couldn't glean the answer by going, well, how would I figure this out? Maybe I should look for a date that it says it opened. So it's an interesting thing. I mean, it's great at looking for patterns, as you and I keep repeating, because it's the chapter making machine when it gets the times right.
Good at that, yeah.
And sometimes it still
pretty
misses
good at
the
summarizing
times.
Too.
Yes. Oh, and it does great. I mean, I just have so much fun when I do the paragraph to describe this show and random thoughts. For this show, I normally tell it to do it in a Richard Marcinko style.
Oh, okay.
Which is how you get the, you maggots.
Listen up.
Right.
Yeah.
And for random thoughts, the last couple I used a P.T. Barnum style. So you get you get a little bit more of that circus flavor to it. The little, that style of promotion. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. So you can do a lot of things like that, and it's able to do things in a style. So rather than just a boring paragraph that says, well, on Unrelenting, they talked about this.
Right.
You can get that in a style that is a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I've been thinking of just using your summaries on my show, too. Because, people don't really care.
Nobody really pays any attention.
Not really. Oh, there's a blurb of this thing. Yeah, let's check it out.
Does the blurb have anything to do with the podcast? And that was my other question, besides our buddy from Poland.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody cares about transcripts. I don't know if anybody cares about chapters. I don't know if anybody cares about any of
One
it
guy
besides
does.
start. That's it. One guy, just him. Beyond that, not really sure. But I'm the guy that I never listen to podcasts in that way. I would never go and open up a Sir Gene Speaks and look for a 5-minute segment that interests me and then ignore the rest of the show. It's like you either listen to the show or you don't.
Yeah.
Unless it's specifically a news program. Now, if it was something like Angry Tech News, that Bemrose is doing, and I was only interested in NVIDIA
Wait,
news.
he's not still doing that, is he?
Him and Sir Gene Speaks are kind of on the same schedule at this
they're
point.
on hiatus.
Extended hiatus.
Extended temporary hiatus.
And people ask why, Grumpy Old Ben's isn't coming back. We did a Christmas episode. Well, nobody donates at all. No, I mean, again, literally.
Darren, every time you say things like that, people go, Jesus, does he only do this for the money?
Yes.
God, he sucks.
Of course I do only do it for the money. You think my whole day is like, wow, I love entertaining everybody. I should get nothing for it.
I turned off all the ads on YouTube.
Well, you are a interesting fellow.
I don't like ads. I'm like, fuck it. I'd rather have people watch me and leave me nice comments than have ads.
Until you get 5 billion. This is why you're getting the nice comments. Until you have 5 billion views.
And then only videos with no ads.
Right. And then Gene's like, I'm monetizing these motherfuckers. You watch me. Oh, but I was wrong. 25 minutes ago, CSB. $39.59. That must be $3 in new how Bitcoin has crashed. I've been watching that.
It has crashed. I think it's a buck of Bitcoin now.
I know this is. I really kind of wish I didn't have it on my stream deck on how much my Bitcoin is worth at this particular juncture.
Yeah.
It's like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I was like, yeah.
It's funny you say that. I actually took it off my stream deck.
I think I have to as well. It's like, just don't pay any attention to it.
No.
It's the boomer thing to do. I make fun of my dad, which is probably mean because he's in his 80s, but he likes to go into his account, with their stocks and their 401ks and all that, and daily look. And I'm like, why are you looking daily?
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
I again, maybe I'm the same age as your dad, but I have my stocks on my stream deck.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't want to see this anymore.
I want them updated real time. Now, the Bitcoin I took off because that was going in the wrong direction. But the plus, I mean, it's sort of like I'm never selling that shit. Whatever Bitcoin I have is there until it's worth one coin's $1 million. So I don't need to look at it daily. Yeah, I'm just waiting. It's either going to be never or someday. That's the two options.
Right, which is what you have to deal with that kind of... I agree with you on the crypto. It's not something that I see as a lot of people tell you it's a store of value. No, it is gambling 100%.
It's total gambling, yeah.
And you can't give me
I tell you, Tesla took a dump too. I think there's a lot of hate for Musk because my 100% per year increase in Tesla stock price has just been washed away in large extent.
Well, I mean, that's because Elon does not... he does not resonate with the psychotic leftists who are very, very loud on YouTube.
Clearly.
Which is what it comes down to it. And
how dare he not resonate?
Let me mock Cotton Gin. He's like, you didn't record GOB for months. Of course, no one donated. Well, I mean, to be fair, there's a few $5 that come in every month still for Grumpy Old Ben's. I mean, overall, I mean, for Grumpy Old Ben's, I mean, for this show, I mean, for Random Thoughts, I mean, for Planet Rage, I mean, for the Rock and Roll pre-show. Donations are in the shitter.
That makes sense. Like, who has money to donate?
True. If you do the math on No Agenda, I mean, I understand they like to pull out the sad puppy a lot, but you can do the math and hear that they are down quite a bit as well.
Do Christian people need as much money though?
It depends how big the houses are.
I keep thinking that, once you're like re-energized in Christ, that your life mission is to
give all your money away
now and not really spend money. I don't know.
Give all your money away to the people that need it.
Yeah, I just feel like I shouldn't expect others to pay for things I don't pay for.
What do you pay for? I mean, you gave Tim Pool how much money?
I gave him way too much money.
See, well, then you should be paying for all the content. You should be paying for all the content.
Yeah, no, but I stopped paying for Tim Pool. I mean, I canceled my subscription finally because I don't really watch him anymore.
He's not doing it for you.
Much
you're doing your own
stuff there.
You took care of your ED problem on your own.
Yeah, exactly.
No more Tim Pool needed. The beanie fetish is over.
The thing, well, Tim Pool was interesting in the 4 years of Biden because Tim Pool was that centrist guy who would have been perceived as left of center during Trump's first term, but who kind of became by de facto right of center by the center moving leftward. And so Musk is the same in a lot of ways, but Tim Pool had a show. Musk didn't back then. He was actually busy running companies, not doing shows.
And he was actually doing important things, important work for important people.
Trying to make my stock price go up for Tesla.
And it did briefly.
It did. Well, not a lot more than briefly. Tesla is one of the best performing stocks ever.
How about NVIDIA? How does it compare to NVIDIA?
NVIDIA is at 122 right now. I'm tracking that one too.
We're tracking them down. Gene bought in when it was 36 cents.
Went down yesterday, and now it's slowly edging back up. I need NVIDIA to hit 149 soon as they do that, I'm out of NVIDIA.
NetNet says he's got his node on the way, and that way he'll be able to support the shows that he likes. Well, the nodes. I was so annoyed yesterday.
So when you say node, that you're talking about that expensive piece of hardware that's going to suck electricity out of your wall?
Exactly. And by expensive, you mean like a couple $100 because it's a Raspberry Pi with a additional drive.
Yeah, you're right. It's a node, not a miner. I was thinking of miner, but
right.
Yeah, that's just a node.
So it's mainly for the electricity, very little. I mean, it's still going to suck some electricity down.
Yeah.
But I
got a suggestion for him. He should get Darren to run his node.
No, I don't want to run anybody's nodes. But doesn't want you.
I hear Darren's the node guy. He can hook you up.
I got Gene's Satoshis on there. I got Larry's Satoshis. I got Bembro's Satoshi. That's enough.
Mm-hmm.
That is enough. And I updated the way you can split these down. Maybe there's another way to do it, but the easiest was with the Alby wallet, which they open sourced when they went to, hey, we're going to charge you to use Alby Cloud, but hey, open source Alby wallet, Alby Hub with the Alby wallet. You can do all sorts. It's open source. It's going to be great. And then they updated the Alby Hub. So I updated it. And now the first thing you got when you opened up the interface was
subscribe.
Right. Finish setting up your hub. And it was like step 1, 2, 3, 4, everything that was done and fully running. Step 5, donate to Alby. Set up a recurring donation to Alby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck you. That's not open source. Requiring somebody and saying you're not fully set up and putting up a big fucking thing saying you're not set up until you do that. Fuck you.
That's is kind of a screw deal.
Yeah, it's not value for value. Now, value for value, the way to do it, and every show we say, hey, if you want to support the show, here's how you do it. So I have no problem.
Sometimes the whole show you do that.
Right. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't. The thing that they could have done was just put up a little banner which says, hey, value for value. If you find what you're using here to have value, consider supporting us on a one-time or monthly basis.
Okay, so I got to interrupt you here. I think this is the most expensive egg order I've ever had.
Oh my God, what are eggs up to in Austin? I know ours here were
36.
Wow. Ours were $10.99.
This is for an 18 count. This is an 18 count, not a 12 count or whatever.
Ours were $10.99 for 2 dozen the last I looked. So that was cheap.
So $5 basically. Yeah. So this is an 18 count for $15.36. So that is $10 a dozen, I guess, right?
No, a little less.
Yeah,
it's $15.36 for 18 eggs.
For 18 eggs, yeah.
So it's about $1 a piece.
Well, it is $10 a dozen.
Right about there, yeah.
What do you right about there is exactly $10 a dozen.
No, it's not exactly.
Oh no, it's not. You're right because there's 39 cents or 36 cents. So yeah. So it is just over $10 a dozen.
You are in the ballpark, though. You get good eggs. You get the best eggs.
They're brown, which I had to pay extra for.
You racist. You don't like the white eggs?
Hey, man, there's fewer brown eggs now.
I've noticed that. When they went through the first phase, the white eggs turned brown for like a month that our grocery store was selling as the grade A, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they turned back to the white eggs. Was intrigued by that. But the pricing is just insane. And it's because of the insanity that, oh no, there's bird flu. We better kill all the birds.
That is insanity. And I reposted, I should say, an article about that where the guy on the video, it's a video, not an article, asked a legitimate question. Reasonable question, in my opinion, which is when people get sick, they will develop an immunity after they are no longer sick.
Right, if they don't die.
If they don't die. And most diseases, with the exceptions of things like Ebola, have a fairly low percentage chance of killing you. Bird flu has a higher than flu rate chance of killing birds, but it's still not 100% death rate by any stretch. Far from it. But rather than letting birds develop an immunity to bird flu so that they and their offspring don't get it, instead of doing that, we just kill all the birds so that it guarantees that birds will always develop bird flu. How does that make sense?
It does not. And I'm just looking here at the online shopping for Meijer. And their brand was always the best, where we normally would buy the 2 dozen grade A large eggs. That is currently $11.99. But you can get, although they're showing it as out of stock, which would make sense, the Eggland's Best brand, large eggs, 24 count, just says classic eggs. It says vegetarian fed. So I don't know really any different than what the Meijer one would be. $8.09 for 2 dozen, which I get why they're sold out.
That's crazy cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, people be like gold. Be like, go and buying the eggs.
It is like gold. I mean, everybody knows eggs are at least $1 a piece.
You got to go flip them now. You got to go flip those eggs.
Dude, the videos that Virginia legislator dude has put out on eggs have been hilarious. You know how I'm talking about, right? He's got a podcast, but he's in the Virginia legislature.
I mean,
kind of a bearded dude.
No.
Oh, I'll send you some of his vids. They're really good.
Their cage-free dozens are $5.49 for that brand.
Okay, which is crazy cheap. Because I buy organic, cage-free, free-roam, vegetarian-fed chickens.
You buy into all the BS. I get it.
No, I don't. No, they just taste better.
They do not.
They totally taste better.
There was see here, I'm going to go back with the gene thing because I saw a guy on YouTube that showed it didn't taste any better. So I believe in the YouTube guy.
You saw a guy.
There was a guy on YouTube. And he bought all the different levels of eggs.
The carton comes with a little card that is personally autographed with the foot of each chicken. Yeah.
Thank you for buying my eggs.
Like it. So you get to know the chicken that laid your egg that you're going to eat
until it becomes your rotisserie bird for the evening.
No, they don't taste good. The chickens that we have for laying eggs are not the same chickens that we have for eating.
That's a shame. You're ruining my
push
joke.
Comes to shove, you could totally eat it, but that's not going to be the best flavored chicken.
When push comes to shove, you can pretty much eat anything.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So at least get your eggs order in. But now when I'm making the omelets and stuff, I'm like, oh my God. See, this is the funny thing, because it used to be things like coffee were really expensive. So today I'm making a 6-egg omelet, split it with the wife.
Yep.
And
really? 6 eggs for her?
Well, I split it. So 3 and so basically half for each.
You're only getting 3 eggs? That's crazy.
Well, then I also had a Thomas bagel, onion bagel with some cream cheese on it.
Bagel.
I know, but it was cheap. And I don't have a bagel guy in New York.
I could get you hooked up with a bagel guy in New York.
I don't need to be hooked up with the bagel guy. I just need you to send me a dozen bagels, and that's a way easier.
Well, or you could have the New York guy send you a dozen bagels. That's what I do.
Well, just give me your gold card, and I'll have them send whatever they can send. Bill, can I just say,
Trump is selling gold cards now.
Naftulyev, I know, $5 million. You get in, you get out.
$5 million, great deal.
It's genius. It comes with the cost, though. If you,
I love this. Is such a brilliant concept. We got to talk about it more. That Trump took something that was basically a policy of letting prisoners out of every country in Central America and Latin America. They're letting their prisoners out to go to the United States.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to have them in your prison.
Bad for us.
Because they cost money.
Great for them, bad for us.
Yeah. It's one of those things like
Trump,
if the United States had take everybody on death row and be like, well, we're just going to put you in a fucking cargo plane and drop you off somewhere. Why not?
Kinda.
Right. If you make it out.
Their problem.
Right.
Exactly. And Trump just flipped it on its head. He said, no. No more prisoners. Only millionaires can come to the U.S.
Even oligarchs?
I mean, it's such a great. Well, and I love the fact that somebody asked them that.
I know.
That, does that mean that Russian oligarchs can come in? And Trump's like, yeah. Well, there's some really nice oligarchs, and they'd love to come here.
I know some. Yeah, right. There was kind of like there's nice oligarchs on both sides. Trump is the ultimate troll. That was
brilliant.
Yes, well,
he really is.
And it makes sense when. Now, I don't know the demographics. I don't know the numbers that are out there. But Donald Trump said he believed if this offer goes through, and he said the White House lawyers okayed it, but I'm thinking there's still another step it's going to have to go through to be approved. But if it is, Donald Trump postulated that there would be 1 million people willing to pay the $5 million.
Yeah.
Is that a legitimate number?
If you take a zero away, probably, yeah.
Well, if you take a zero away, there's a big difference in paying down the debt between, what would it be? Would that be 5 trillion? 1 million?
1 million millions?
1 million, 5 millions. So that would be a pretty good way to pay down the debt. Now, whether or not, it doesn't matter for me how many of those people there are. I understand the concept. If somebody's willing to pay $5 million to get the fast track, it's basically paying for the fucking fast pass to Disney World. This is all this is.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, that's exactly what
they could get in. Otherwise, it would just take longer.
And it's not per person; it's per family. So
it is like Disney World. No, it's even better than Disney World because they probably charge you per person.
They probably would, yeah. Yeah,
what do you think about it?
I think it is a good idea. And there's been a cheaper variant of this for many, many years in the U.S., as there has been in every country. I remember at one point in time thinking about doing this with New Zealand and moving my ass out there. And New Zealand had a deal. What?
Just your ass, not the rest of you?
Just my ass. Yeah, that's all I could afford. But New Zealand had a policy where if you deposit $100,000 into a New Zealand bank, then you're on the fast track to citizenship.
Well, that's cheap.
Yeah, I thought so. I may be more now. I don't know. But
if they're smart, they're like, hey, bringing that up.
Back then, it was like, yeah, that's all you got to do. Just if you can demonstrate that you're capable of depositing $100,000 in assets, you are on the fast track to New Zealand citizenship.
Be a Kiwi.
Yeah. I thought about it moving down there pretty seriously because New Zealand's a very interesting island. It's a smaller place, obviously, than Australia, but in a lot of ways, a much better place than Australia because it has all 4 seasons. It's not just a bunch of desert. Their seasons are upside down and backwards, but other than that,
they speak English.
Very pretty. They do speak English, a variant of English. They pronounce their E's slightly differently than we do. But it's a pretty neat place. It's actually where non-prisoners from Britain went to, whereas, of course, Australia, as everybody knows, was a penal colony and kind of still is, if you ask me.
They have a lot of ED.
They may. I do play with some Australians though in Elite Dangerous, so I know they for sure have some ED down there.
People are looking that up right now. They're like, "What? What's he talking about?" But it makes sense that you want people to move into the United States. We know that having immigration is a good thing. And as you and I have discussed on this show for the last 4 years, the main problem is people coming into this country who cannot afford to take care of themselves.
Exactly. The problem is not, and never has been, immigration. The problem is immigration of people with no skills and little work capability.
So it makes perfect sense to be like, hey, you want to invest $5 million in this country? Then and it's not even guaranteed citizenship.
Sense.
It's like, okay, here's
I
your
will
green
bet
card.
you. I will bet you right now that there are probably. I don't think there's 100,000, but I'll bet you there's way more than 10,000 people in India right now that will do this.
Well, see, that would make sense.
It's the world's most populous country, and there are a lot of people that have started tech companies in India, and getting to 5 million, while it's certainly more difficult than India, isn't all that hard for a company to do. So, all they got to do is just sell their Indian company and move to the US.
So basically, I think you need people that are going to at least have a couple of million left over after the 5 million when they walk in the door.
Oh, he didn't say anything about that.
No, I understand. Otherwise, you're just bringing a whole different crew of broke.
No. They're going to be unemployed when they get here, but they're going to pay 5 million to get them.
Right, and then we're going to deport their motherfuckers when they don't. And then that's even a better system.
Mm-hmm.
But I paid $5 million. Read the fine print.
Read the fine.
You're only guaranteed a seat at Gitmo if you don't.
This is a good way for Elon to get his H-1B people in, because the H-1Bs will typically make about $250,000 a year, so it's not going to take him long to get to 5 million.
No, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Bring people in that can fend for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I would take, maybe part of this should be, your housing. You have some great Trump towers. Maybe you could give them a nice apartment in a Trump tower for the first year to guarantee, their living situation is taken care of. You could just have add-ons to the $5 million.
Oh, sure.
Like, would you like the Trump Tower add-on? That's another $1 million. We will give you a place to live. We'll even give you a coupon for DoorDash so you can have your food delivered right to your door. And Trump just starts like NASCAR. He just starts taking sponsorships.
Yeah, wasn't he at NASCAR? Didn't he race or something?
He went to the Daytona 500 and was in the Beast went out on the track to lead the cars around. That was beautiful.
With him in it.
Yeah. Waving out great. The window, him and his granddaughter in the...
That's perfect.
The photograph from inside. That was the first time because I never really thought about it, but it makes sense because this car is basically a tank. This is not...
Oh, yeah, it's totally a tank.
A car that had the armament added to it. This was built. Right.
Yeah.
And you noticed from the inside... The windows looked like airplane windows. You could tell that they were not your typical car windows that he was waving out of. But the NASCAR fans loved him. I guess there's video of this. It wasn't during the broadcast, but if you've ever seen the Daytona Super Speedway, it is literally next door to a Army Air Force base, which is where the Beast and Air Force One landed. And Air Force One did a flyover. So instead of just going right in and landing.
Well, that's a typical Trump thing, dude.
He
did that when we went to see him on his first stop on his campaign tour in Texas. He did the same thing with Trump Force One.
Plane flies over, does the whole, woohoo, America.
Yep. Yeah, wave its wings left and right.
Yep. It was a beautiful thing, and the NASCAR fans love it. Love it.
Yep.
Rightfully so. Where was Joe Biden for 4 years? He wasn't at the Daytona 500.
He was in the basement.
Hiding.
Plugged in.
Yeah, drugs being pumped into his system. Like, just keep him alive. Keep him alive.
Exactly. Yeah, antifreeze getting pumped in there.
We need him alive just long enough.
Yeah. Yeah, we probably won't even know when he dies. We'll just hear that he died in the past at some point.
Like Gene Hackman?
Kind of.
Too soon for that?
What's up with that?
I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about him, and he died.
The oddity there was all of the news coverage immediately was no signs of foul play, no signs of foul play, no signs of foul play. Like 15 minutes later, oh shit, there might be foul play.
Yeah.
You can't believe anything you hear or see.
Gene Hackman, I think, was one of the most underrated actors out there.
He had
Great comic timing.
Yeah, he had a career that's hard to beat.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you mean?
Well, length of the career. He played a variety of different roles. He was always
but he was never
solid.
leading man. He was always like a supporting guy.
He was the leading man in Hunt for Red October.
Oh, no, he was definitely not the leading man. He was
the main guy.
In Hunt for Red October, did you watch the movie at all?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago. He's the only one. Okay, here's the thing. He's the only one I remember from Hunt for Red October.
He was literally a minor character in Hunt for Red October.
His last movie was called Welcome to Mooseport from 2004. So it's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
It has been a while. Where did we?
It's been a while for everything.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah. I'm getting old.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Mm-mm. Not all it's cracked up to be.
No, today was that was the story I was getting around to. So the omelet was in. And this in the morning, I really should take the B12 immediately on waking up because it's it's like a circus when I'm trying to do breakfast because it's like, okay, let's get the eggs in the pan, doing the omelet. You got to get some bacon or sausage in the air fryer. If you're doing that, you're putting the bagels or the bread into the toaster for that to get toasted. Then you want some fresh coffee. So I'm filling up the coffee pot drip with water. And then I'm like, I want to do the grinding of the beans. And today was the first day that I learned that the container does not have to be under the grinder for the grinder to work. So there were coffee grounds all over the counter.
So you got a grinder that dumps stuff out instead of keeping it in?
Well, it would go into a little plastic cup if I had put the cup underneath and locked it in place before starting the grinder, which is what you're supposed to do. But this was the first time I made the coffee grounds without capturing
what are you
them.
doing with the coffee grounds? I thought you had a K-cup.
No, we haven't been using that.
Oh.
We got some whole bean coffee.
Mr. Coffee.
Yeah, the old Mr. Coffee, tried and true. I'm going to upgrade this at some point here to maybe a bun machine or something like that. But this is the Mr. Coffee, so we're doing the grinding. But to be fair, with the K-cups, I can remember 3 times where I forgot to put the cup underneath the spigot. So when the coffee came out, it went right into the bottom of the machine, which luckily there's a big enough reservoir. And let me just say, no, fuck you, Cotton Gin. I'm not upgrading to a French press. I have one, but those are such a pain in the ass. I know they make great coffee. And if I really wanted to stroke myself,
I don't know why you don't just get a nice Italian espresso machine.
I see, because they're like $8,000.
About 3.5.
The fact that you are well aware of the pricing on this stuff. How many do you have, Gene? How many fell off the truck?
I've had the same one for ages, years.
With the mirror that's still... Where's the mirror? Is the full-size mirror still sitting in the front of the house?
It is. Yes. It's still in the box.
We can't even... This is how bad this fucking show is. We can't even give away things.
I know.
Like ponchos and full-size mirrors. And these people are like, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
No, I told you the deal with the espresso machine is that when I first moved in here, that was one of my first purchases for the house. And
you
when Adam
drinking
came
coffee.
over, well, that was much later. I stopped drinking coffee. But when Adam came over, I was like, this is really good. And then a month or 2 later, I was at his house and I'm like, oh, I see you bought one of these. He bought the exact same machine I had.
You're like, you could have had mine. I stopped using it the minute you started using it.
No, I used it for years. I didn't stop using it. I'm still using it. I'm just using it for hot tea now.
An espresso machine. How does that work?
I just used it the other day. Well, it also is capable of generating hot water.
Ooh. There is a brand new, and I'm totally it's useless for me even to say because I don't remember the brand, but somebody just came out with a new drip coffee machine that's supposed to be like completely programmable as far as the exact temperatures, the exact amount of pressure. And it was like $400. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's when it all comes down to it, it's just coffee, or just get a French press. You really like the French press, don't you, Gottingen? I gotta get a French girl to actually then.
I like the Italian press more than the French press, but
which one?
Italian press.
Oh, the Italian press.
Yeah.
That you get an Italian girl to press your coffee instead of
with her thighs. Yeah.
It's really the only way to get the proper extraction on the beans.
Yeah.
Just thinking about the quality of coffee.
I guess he just likes those French girls.
Yeah. And I understand. I have 2 French presses that I got back in the day to do. Back when Amazon, I loved when I could just get free shit all day, every day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
No, not anymore. They had to ruin that. But I did get a couple of French presses, and they do a really nice job if you have the time to spend.
I've got a emergency air tank coming.
Whoa! Emergency air tank oxygen? You have an O2 problem? It explains
no, I don't have an O2 problem. This is a product I'm going to be testing. But it's you may occasionally run into situations where the air around you is not breathable, in which case you need to have an emergency air supply tap into so you can keep breathing.
I have always heard that it's very important to have emergency air supply. Glenn Beck, I think, tells us.
Exactly. There you go.
Along with
it right there.
Emergency food supply that's in your basement.
Yeah.
But you don't have a basement.
I've got a year's worth of water. I've got
18 years worth of ponchos.
Worth of food. I got way more ponchos than I'll ever need. And no, I still haven't found a homeless guy to give one to before I get asked.
See, that's hard in Austin. How do you not find a homeless guy?
It is not, dude. Austin has changed. I mean, now that Trump's here, we got like American flags everywhere. No homeless people. It's crazy.
The NASCAR people are in town right now.
Are they?
Yeah, this is over at COTA this weekend. And I looked it up. I can go. Granted, I'm sure different times of year are different, but getting the Amtrak bedroom back and forth to Austin, it's like $1,000 each way, which isn't bad.
Whoa, $1,000? Holy shit!
Yeah, but that's 2 people.
For a lot cheaper.
You could.
That's 2 people. Okay. So it's basically $1,000 round trip per person.
Correct, and that's including food.
It's basically first class flight.
Right, and it's I'm sure it's not great, but you got your meals as well. That's included.
So that goes out from Chicago through Kansas City, and then all the way down here to Austin.
The Texas Eagle.
I've never taken it, but I've had a friend that routinely takes the train from Austin to Dallas because his mom lives in Dallas, and I guess he figured out he didn't want to drive or he could just sleep on the train or whatever. So he takes the train up there, and he likes it. Does it pretty regularly.
And that's it. I mean, one, you can get it for, I think it was $150 to $200 for just a seat on the train.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be about $300 to $400 for 2. It's like, okay, then
you might as well have the whole train experience and get a private car.
Right. Well, and then you can actually, the wife might be able to sleep. I don't think any of these things have a bed longer than 6 foot, and I'm 6'6", so that's always I guess
they're totally longer than 6 feet. I've been in a train.
You got to go and just sleep sideways, or maybe in the fetal position. I mean, just rope yourself in and hope that for the best.
They're more than 6 feet, dude. They're at least 7.
I don't think they are the beds in these things.
They are guaranteed.
Guarantee. Oh, the gene guarantee, everybody. It's
Absolutely.
Time to start doing. It's time for the fact checking to begin. First, let's go to Grok.
Right,
you can go to Grok. You can go to Perplexity. You can go to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be an interesting way to travel because one, I hate flying. I don't fit in the fucking seats.
Look, all I know is U.S. trains use a 4-foot gauge.
A 4-foot gauge.
Yeah, it's actually over 4 feet, but it's a little over 4 feet. And the car itself is twice that size. So you've got at least 8 feet in there.
I mean, I think the room is that way, but when the beds come out, and of course, The CSB said your part of the boost didn't work, which they're both going to my node, which I find to be hilarious. Though.
Yeah, how's it my part didn't work when they're both going to the same node? That's very interesting.
It is. Now, I don't know if it's because, something to do with...
How tall are you?
Rebooting. I'm 6'6", the same as Adam Curry, the Podfather.
You will fit.
I'm good.
I just checked the beds are 6'6".
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Until you get there and they're 5'4".
Well, you better hope they didn't renovate.
This is always...
Because they were designed to be 6'6".
Always the problem. Let me go to LB Hub and see if they're going to annoy me for getting, let's see, received a minute ago, got a couple of boos.
And the actual room itself is 7 feet 6 inches.
Which isn't really bad at all.
No.
I mean, for spending one day.
Is that all it is? I thought it was 2 days.
It's a total of under 24 hours. I thought it was like 19 hours or something.
Oh, 19 hours. Okay. Fair enough.
And yeah, I think I only see one boost. Howdy, bros. Please follow me on Fediverse. Well, he wants you to go to csb@poa.st or on X at CSB. He will reciprocate.
He's using Post now. Post is god awful. I blocked all of Post when I was on.
Post is way better than No Authority Social, though.
Toilet
or whatever.
It is total trasho. I blocked the whole domain on there. Post was always the worst people. All the Ukrainian pieces of shit were in there.
But the guy that runs Post is the one that does for planetrage.social. That's his service, which means you can, because it was like, hey, post whatever you want. Nobody gives a shit, which I think is good. When it's your own service, I suppose that you're not going to get woked out. But I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, CSB. I don't know why, except for the fact that maybe Alby Hub really does fucking suck. All I can tell you is try it again and see if it works. I did just reboot the whole thing right before, and maybe the whole Alby Hub, maybe part of they were so fucking worried about going, pay us money.
Oh, you forgot to pay, didn't you?
I know I did pay them. Maybe they fucked up the software and ruined the part that was separating between Gene's particular part of my node. I mean, it's still there. I see it, Sir Gene. You got lots of Satoshis. I mean, that's even more than Bemrose, and it exists. So I don't know why. Possibly it would not work. If anybody else wants to try boosting, I think CSB just looks at your part of it and then cancels it and then goes, "Oh, it did not work." Ha 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 ha. Gene, I don't like Russian.
I think lately he doesn't like you more than me.
Yeah, see, it goes back and forth, though. I think we've already volleyed.
It goes back and forth.
I think we have volleyed right back to you, and that's the reason why.
Last boost was 7 days ago on my account.
Dreb Scott. Then I got one.
Literally 7 days.
From CSB. That was the only one, and it only came through once, and it should come through twice because it should hit for my account and your account, which are both on the same node, which is just hilarious. So if that has stopped working, then it was something in the Alby that is not accepting the...
Could be 7 days. Well, whatever. Let's move on. Doesn't matter.
It is not even real money. Go to PayPal.
That's true too. PayPal's the real money. So, Ben had sent me
dude named Ben from a Two Good Old Boys podcast.
That Ben sent me a link to something that is pretty interesting, and I'm going to forward it to you right now.
Oh, this is great content. Gene forwards things.
Oh, let me click on the forward button there. Perfect. Did you get it?
I got it. Yeah, it's a YouTube video.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, this is interesting because I watched this
now. Oh, you have?
Yeah, I have watched this because I got this video in the No Agenda back channel from Cotton Gin giving it to Bemrose. Like, hey, do you know this guy?
That's too funny.
This is a very popular video against nerds.
So apparently all the nerds in No Agenda have been watching the same video. That's great.
The new Windows shell.
And it's not even porn.
No. Well, we watch it at the same time, I'm guessing.
So Ben wanted to make sure that you saw it because he knows that you're a Shell Power Master and therefore you should be checking out this great new warp thing.
Well,
I'm going to download it.
I haven't used a Windows machine as my main machine.
No, it works on the Mac.
Oh, it is a thing for the Mac as well.
This is the cool thing about it. It's a universal shell.
Oh, okay.
You learn the commands for this shell. You install it on Linux. You install it on a Mac. You install it on a PC. Same commands.
Woo! Do you like Warp by Cotton Gin? Are you in on it? And let's see, 6 seconds ago, another one from CSB, but yet only one, so not for yours. So, yeah, I'm guessing Albie maybe hates you now, and they updated their software to fucking annoy people to pay them, and while they fucking did their software to annoy you to pay them, they also fucked up.
Something just showed up that says, "Howdy bros, please follow me."
Oh, well, that's it.
Is that it? It's only 1960 sats, though, which is worth $1.
Wait, see, okay, oh, interesting. I wonder then if that's not going to show up in Helipad anymore, which means they kind of fixed something, and I'm really sorry, Albie, because that's a cool thing. Then I'm so quick to judge, I am a horrible person.
You are Irish. That's all you got to say.
Right.
I'm Irish.
It's
pretty much means you're a horrible person.
It's the Bill O'Reilly
and you're quick
factor.
to judge.
Right. We'll fucking do it live. We'll do it live.
That sounds about right.
But 36 seconds later, we're like, you want to go for a drink?
All right, I'm going to install it right now while we're live. Let's see if it needs a reboot at all.
Okay, this is interesting, though. This is an improvement then. If you got that last boost.
I did get why? Were you trying to steal it? Is that what you're saying?
No, but it normally would have shown up here twice because it was both coming into the umbral here. But now it only shows up once.
Let's see somebody else send something again and see if it shows up.
And let me see the connections. Now yours is showing, let's see, 448.
I sent dude named Ben an invoice for some sats and he never paid it.
How many sats were you trying to get out of him?
I don't know. It was like 200 or something.
Was this some kind of pyramid scheme?
I was trying to test. I'm like, hey, I'm going to send you a test. He's like, okay. So I sent somebody. He never paid. I'm like, did you get it? He's like, yeah, I got it. Well, the test is paying, not looking at it.
Somebody's thing. I want to know now if this goes up. Just otherwise it's going into nowhere. So if somebody could do like a, 10, 33, whatever, just a small little boost to the,
yeah.
I just want to see if Gene's amount in the wallet I have goes up. Right now it's ending in 911. So that'll be easy to know if anything comes in. Just don't send something like 100 or something. Just send it like 10 or 33.
An odd amount.
Yes.
Odd amount.
Please.
Yeah. Something with weird numbers.
Lots of weird numbers, please.
Because if we get a round number, then somebody else is gonna have to send it again, and then we'll just keep going.
We go round and round like that. Can I just send them?
I've just authorized my GitHub account to talk to this thing.
I could just transfer the thousands of sats I have of Bemroses into your account and see if that works. I think he's okay with that.
I don't think either one of us would notice.
Bemrose says this is sounding like a shell pyramid scheme. What, that the shell will work on?
Oh, Bemrose's coming in with the jokes.
Woo! This guy, he's hot. He is hot. He
nerd
is hot.
Jokes, the nerd humor.
He's going to be working on a whole new shtick.
All right, Bemrose. How do I get a directory listing in here? Is it LS or is it
DIR? Windows would be dir.
Actually, it does both. It does both LS and DIR.
Really?
Interesting.
It's like a universal, like it understands it all.
I know, right? I'm like, am I Microsofting or am I Unixing here?
You could be both.
This is hilarious. It does do it. Shit, it does all the commands.
See, I totally missed out on the fact that it works on the Mac OS too. I got to try it now.
Yeah. Good.
But I like this. The concept of being able to be cross-machine capable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? And you can theoretically, at least, I haven't done this, write your batch scripts in it, and then have those be machine independent.
Okay,
I had to go and fix your little app thing. Well, the YouTube DLC
The YouTube DLC. I don't know what you're saying, but yeah,
That's the thing that steals YouTube videos.
YT DLP. I gotcha.
That's what I just said. Yeah, YouTube DLC.
And CSB came in with another 1033, and sure enough, it showed up in yours, and
let's see if it showed up in mine.
Although it showed up twice here again.
I'm seeing 511 here from CSB second today.
Which is right. I just don't understand why some of them it shows up twice in still helipad, and sometimes it shows up once.
Doesn't work.
It's all broke.
Anyway,
it's all broke.
So
but thank you, CSB.
Because remember, I made a extension for the browser so I can use that with a graphic interface because I fucking hate typing commands in.
Which is why you hate the shell.
Yeah, well, generally, yeah.
Bemrose lives on the shell.
I don't mind a shell if I can set up a bunch of macros. I don't mind a shell for that.
He's like a teenage mutant ninja turtle. He lives on the half shell.
Exactly. So now I just have a button in my YouTube browser that will scan the page for any YouTube videos and then download the best version of it.
Right. Well, that's what DLP does. And it's amazing because that's not just
I use
YouTube.
DLP for that. That's what I'm saying is that I got DLP running out of the browser now natively.
And a lot of people don't know, probably don't pay any attention, that works pretty much everywhere, including Fox News. If there's a video on the page, it'll download it. It works with most from X. It works with most from TikTok. If you want to download something.
It even works with TikTok? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's great when doing clips for a show.
Yeah, but, clip shows aren't real shows, I hear.
They're the best shows. I even made an appearance yesterday on the live stream of No Agenda about halfway through the show when Clean Feed spit JCD out like a bad marble. Adam's like, could you go to this link and see if it works? And I went in and I'm like, whoa, it did. Of course, the first time, starting up the podcasting rig, as you know, is a multi-step process. So I connected, but I did not go into loopback to turn the correct microphone and headphones on to the browser. So it was a little less than useful, but now everybody at CSB, of course, was like, well, now we know you can replace JCD. Like, oh yeah, it's that easy. Just because
AI?
No, at the show. Right, because it's just all you have to. That is the bar for replacing John C. Dvorak, one of the greatest minds of our time on a podcast.
You're stretching it there. I don't know about minds, but I think he is absolutely one of the best scribes of our time.
Yes.
I'll give him that.
As long as you can connect via Clean Feed, CSB thinks you can replace him. That's really the bar for CSB to replacing JCD, it seems. Can you connect on Clean Feed? You're ready to replace the guy.
Does Clean Feed even work? I don't even know.
Still does. We're using it right now.
Oh, we are? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're still
Hey, I was going to ask you, which AI did you use for that photo of the Ukrainian girl holding up the support unrelenting sign?
Grok.
Oh, that is Grok. Okay.
Grok with...
Interesting. And you specified Ukrainian girl, right?
Yes.
Okay, I figured.
Blonde Ukrainian girl. I did, it as Grok does, came out with more of a widescreen image. I filled it out using
squared it up and put the text in there.
I filled it up with Photoshop. The only text I added was the URL.
Oh, it did the support unrelenting by itself?
Yes, very well, too.
Because it says unrelenting. Oh, it does say unrelenting.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it misspelled it, but turns out it didn't.
No, that's the beauty. And it was a fairly nice photograph. It did not scream.
Yeah.
Fake
image. The thing that's interesting is it actually made an imperfect woman image, which is unusual for AI. Her face is not symmetric. AI tends to go for symmetric faces.
Maybe it's learning.
It is learning. It's starting to figure things out. It's like, hold on. There is no such thing as absolute beauty in humanity.
And this was, the first result was not quite as good, but the second one I thought was, and here was the, we're talking AI prompts.
We're talking shop.
We're talking shop here.
Should I run some grok while we're talking?
create a photograph, I said, of a busty blonde Ukrainian supermodel with blue eyes and red lips.
Mm-hmm.
She is wearing a yellow polka dot bikini and holding up a handwritten sign that says support Unrelenting.
Yeah. Are you impressed that I can recognize Ukrainian from an AI image?
Yes. And what part of Ukrainian is the look here that you're going?
Uh-huh.
What is the sure giveaway? And I'll tell you, let me send you this.
I'm just a connoisseur of East European women, my friend.
Oh, well, of course you are. Of course, I can understand.
I have a guy.
That provides these kind of things for you.
Uh-huh.
You just
You got a guy for that.
You were married once. You learned the lesson. You're like, that guy's
Absolutely.
right off the speed dial. This was the other option. This is a totally inside baseball that
Actually,
nobody else will see.
the first chick I've dated a lot of Ukrainian girls over the years, man.
This one was not anywhere near as pleasing.
Yeah.
And you could, just a screwed up face.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not perfect. You got to do, but the other one was really, again, believable, which is the hardest thing to do with the photograph reproductions.
Yeah.
Advertise up to 200 million. I love getting spam. Unlike JCD, I do get spam.
So let me ask you something. Are Ukrainian women, in your opinion, are they the best?
I would say the Ukraine girls really knocked me out.
There's no way Ukrainian women are inherently the best. Best at what, anyway? Beauty? Personality? That's all subjective nonsense. People just fetishize them because of stereotypes.
You have to pipe
You're
that through
buying into
better.
hype without evidence. What makes you think they're so special?
Do you hear that?
Yeah, you need to pipe it through better.
Hear
But
what? You didn't say anything worth hearing. You're dodging my question. What makes you think Ukrainian women are the best? Come on, spit it out.
okay, I like an AI that's just a bitchy woman.
What?
That you didn't say anything worthwhile. Just like, wait, Gene's going to say bitchy woman. Are you being repetitive?
Oh, no. I was asking you if you heard anything.
I did, but then
I
answered you.
That was coming out of the phone speaker, so it wasn't, I'm sure, very good.
Yeah, it was not piped through very well. But I was answering the question about the Ukraine girls.
The gist of it, though.
Yeah, Ukraine girls really knock me out. They leave the rest behind, or is it the West behind?
They're quite attractive. There is definitely something about them. The good thing is there's a lot of them for very few men now.
Moscow girls make me scream and shout that Georgia's always on my mind. You're not familiar with the Beatles song "Back to the USSR"?
Yeah, I've heard it. Sure.
The Ukraine girls really knock me out. That's what I know about Ukraine girls. They knock you out. I mean, that could be because they are so gorgeous they knock you out, or they're just way more likely to take you into a hotel room, hit you over the head, or drug you,
your
knock
money.
you out.
Yes,
right?
That's true too. Yeah,
one or the other. I'm not really sure, but it's finding out is the fun part.
No. But hey, at least you've got both kidneys if you go there.
Right. There you go.
Yeah. Unlike certain other parts of the world.
But that particular image did not get us any, support. So I don't know.
Shocker. Amazing.
It's amazing. I know. It is amazing how poorly things have been going lately. I just need a better gig, I guess.
Or one that makes money, yeah.
But then other people go, hey, why aren't you doing the show?
No one says that.
They do. If we skip a show, people get pissed.
I don't think so.
And,
I doubt it. I don't think anyone would get pissed.
And we are skipping next week. The wife's
we're not.
Yeah, the wife's having surgery on Thursday. So
I'm going to get a replacement co-host for next week then. I'm tired of skipping shit every time you have some kind of event.
Well, we just cancel the show. It's better. Nobody listens anyway.
Well, we do these shows for different reasons, dude. I do this show to talk. You do it to make money.
But you always talk.
Exactly.
And I don't always make money. So this is
exactly.
this is the imbalance of Unrelenting.
It's totally balanced. So, well, anyway, I got the two topics I wanted to get out of the way. So those are out of the way now. What do you want to talk about?
You wanted to talk about the $1 million green card or $5 million green card, gold card.
We talked about that. No, I told Ben I would bring up the shell product, and I did. So that's good.
Well, the shell is nice because it gives you control of things that the average person can't mess with easily. And there's no doubt that you can do things in the shell that will bork your computer completely. So I understand why a lot of people are avoiding such things. And it's not, everybody likes the graphical user interface. You just want to be able to click, just click, 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 choose something, click, rather than remembering a particular command. Of course, that was why it was fun back in the day when somebody was just getting their, Apple IIe or whatever it was. And they're like, oh man, this isn't working right. What do I do? Well, okay, go into, there's this thing called the terminal. Okay. Now what do I do? Format C:. Okay. Now
what? Literally what I told you to do when you bought your Mac?
Format C, probably. Erase the whole son of a bitch. It's going. Why is it? Wait, it's erasing everything.
Right. Well, now you got a chance to reinstall everything clean, which is what you wanted, right?
And I love, who is again our only contributor for today's show, CSB. So we may as well make fun of him a bit. And I'm like, well, I'm waiting. And I don't know. I'm kind of want to, and I know there's really no reason to get a M4 Studio.
No.
Except for the fact that when I am rendering out things, it still takes way too long. And I would like to play with some more of the AI stuff on there, and it might actually speed things up. But with that said, according to CSB, the M4 Studio is no better than the M4 Mac Mini. It's like, it technically is. It's faster. There's no question about it. It has more CPU cores, more GPU cores. Now, will I notice a difference surfing the web? No. Will you notice a difference doing most things? No. But for rendering out any audio using these plugins that do the separating the voice from the reverb, from the background noise, yeah, it'll speed that up by whatever. So if that's taking an hour now, then if you get a CPU that's twice as fast as what you have, it'll take a half hour. I mean, the math is pretty simple. It's like, do most people need it? No. Is this fine? Could I get away with it? Yes. But the wife is still on a Windows machine, and I'm like, well, why should I buy her another Mac Mini and both have the same? Why not have one that's bigger and badder? Talk me out of spending more money. Go ahead.
I think you ought to get a Mac Pro.
Oh, the cheese grater?
Yep.
Like a new one or an old one?
If you get the Mac Studio, then you have to get the Apple 6K display.
No, I don't think you do. Why would I want that? I don't care about the display.
The stand for it is $1,000.
See, that's how they know you're in the Apple ecosystem.
And it doesn't come with the stand.
That's how they know. So here, you give a really nice monitor. You're like thinking, wow, that's not too bad of a price for what you get. And then you're like, well, where's the stand?
32-inch monitor. I think it's $4,000 by itself, or $3,000. It's a reasonable deal.
And they take the stand off just in case
the stand is separate. It's $1,000
in case you want to mount it, so you don't need then the. I guess that's nice. They're saving you $1,000.
Yeah.
And that's how some people think with the Apple, rather than going, "Fuck you, dude! Why would you charge $1,000 for a stand?" No, I don't care about the displays. I really don't. And maybe I should just get a NUC or something like that. The wife, did we talk about the fact that her Dell, which was my Dell from the one that I just replaced, was like 3 years old. The one that she's on, the wife's on, was one from like 3 years before that. So this has to be about a 6-year-old Dell, but it was a top of the line. It has 64 gig of memory in it. And I think it cost like $1,800 to $2,000 at Costco 6 years ago. And it has 128 gigabyte as a main drive because you start getting into the drive is full errors. I'm like, how the fuck can that be?
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I didn't wait, they were that small. That's right. The fucking brand new M2 drives. Or any little, they were so expensive. So I'm like, well, I guess I could just replace that drive, but it's like, nah, she just does very basic stuff on it, which is why a Mac Mini would probably be great. But then I can get a Mac.
Itching for that studio.
Yeah, I'm itching for. I am, and I'm if they would come out at the same time, you wouldn't have this fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the way Apple does it. They get you like, well, you don't want to wait. So the advertising in which
they just released a new phone.
Oh, I know, and that is bullshit. Marquez Brownlee just ripped that cheap phone to shreds.
Did he?
Yeah,
really.
He's like, who's it for? He's like, really, you're much better at this point getting a refurb 15 Pro for the same price.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably pretty close in price.
And the new one, he said, is really, it's an okay phone, but it's not a cheap phone anymore where the SE.
Yeah.
And I love my fucking iPhone SE. I hardly use it, but I love it because the size and it does exactly what you need it to.
Yeah.
The push towards
I've been
bigger
thinking
and bigger.
Going back to a flip phone again.
You should.
Yeah. So I watched Adam on Joe Rogan where he had his flip phone. And so I texted him like, hey, which model is that? I'm thinking getting one. But the problem with the one that he got is it's too thick.
Yeah, the women always complain about that.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And so it's like there are definitely thinner flip phones in there. And then I saw the Samsung folding phone, which has a full screen when you unflip it.
That's weird. My mother-in-law has one.
Does she?
And it's actually, yeah, it seems to.
Huh.
I don't know what the longevity is going to be.
Uh-huh.
But when I saw it sitting on the table, then she opened it up. I was like, whoa, that's weird. I knew they existed, but I had never seen one in the wild.
Okay. All right. Well,
but the old-fashioned one, I think a part of that is to be like the Adam Curry and go off the grid to the point to where it's only going to be for calls and texts. There ain't no signal on a flip phone.
Yeah. Well, there is. It runs Android.
You have a flip phone that runs Android?
Adam does.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Gene's sending me YouTube videos of actual blonde Ukrainian women. I could just watch this for the rest of the show.
I know, right? And we're done.
It's much better content. 29 views, a video from 2 days ago. This is the kind of content we should be. This is the crowd size we should be getting.
When you say 29, you mean 29 million.
No, it's a 29,000 on that one from like 2 days ago.
Right. That's why I meant 1,000, but I said million.
Because you want millions.
I mean, you said 29. You didn't say 1,000.
It is
so just correcting you.
Adam's flip phone, according to Cotton Gin, a Cat S22 flip.
It is. Yeah.
Cotton Gin had one before Adam. See, Cotton Gin's the cool one. So everybody should get one of those. Tell us how they work. Well, Cotton Gin can tell us. Is it too cool for Gene, Cotton Gin, or is this something that you think would work out? Would it get
too big? It's a ruggedized
caught in his beard? That's the problem too. Would it get caught in the beard, opening and closing?
The beard might get caught in the phone.
Yeah.
But it's too thick. I used to have a very nice compact flip phone that was my backup travel phone. And this is like 10 years ago. I think it was a Motorola, I believe. But it was
most
metal,
of the good flip phones were back then.
Which I liked. It was like, it wasn't plastic. I mean, it had plastic bits, but it also had some metal parts. And it was very thin. Like that thing closed was barely thicker than my iPhone normal phone thickness.
Well, yeah, because they didn't have to be.
When it was open, you could cut cheese with it. It was very sharp on the edge. And it was great. And then my mom's phone broke, so I left that for her at my parents' house. And I never saw that phone again after that. And I kind of forgot about having a emergency travel flip phone because I got an emergency travel Android phone and I I've had that, but that is now old and I can't upgrade the Android on it. I think it's running like Android 7 or something.
Yeah, that's not very secure, I would guess.
I think they're up to 13 now. So it's and not to mention the fact that the battery is now degraded, not from being used a lot, but from the fact that the phone is like 6 years old.
You have an article from late last year that says, how do you say Hawaii? I know the one that everybody in America hates because they're bad Chinese.
Hawaii?
Huawei.
Oh.
Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii.
They came out one of the most thinnest flip phones around.
Really? Well, that's what I need.
So it's, folded. It is.
But I have to order it from outside the U.S. because Hawaii is banned in the U.S.
I know. Now, can you actually get it even put onto a U.S. carrier would be the interesting part of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. U.S. carriers use international standards.
It measures just 6.8.
you can get a last year's Motorola Razr folding phone for $99.
Well, there you go.
Interesting. Yeah. And then the only folding phones I've seen lately are the stupid like jitterbug ones.
Were they really old people?
Hey, do you remember back when you used to be a business executive in 1997?
Yes.
We got your phone right here.
In 1987 was when the portable cell phones that weighed about 15 pounds came out.
No, that was 87. I said 97.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said 87.
No, 97. Because I had, when did I get my first flip phone? That would have been, actually, it wasn't a flip phone. It was a normal stick phone. And that would have been.
You mean a brick phone? Was that what you call a stick phone?
It wasn't
like
a brick. No. It was a stick phone. It was not a brick phone. It was on the Aerial Wireless Network, spelled differently. There's this misspelling of the word aerial. And it would have been 96 or 7. 96 or 7. I can't. So I didn't have a phone until like 96 or 7.
Wow. I had my first cell phone in like 1988.
Well, I didn't work at a Radio Shack, unlike some people.
Radio Shack, where the kids can get together. It was the first one I got was strictly because, and we've told this story here.
Yeah, like 3 times.
The guy that I used to work for was upgrading his in-car cell phone. These weren't portable.
Hey kid, you want a phone?
Right. I did the labor. I swapped the phones out. And he's like, do you want the phone? Well, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And at the time, this was can you imagine a world today where I think the monthly billing was maybe $10 plus 25 cents a minute. So if you never used the phone for the whole month, it was $10 to have the service.
Right.
It wasn't this, pay us $500 for a family plan. No. And if you really only had it for emergencies and for quick calls, that's from back in the day, man. When people would tell you with the landlines, when called grandma was 25 cents a minute to call her wherever. And people were like, hey, how you doing? Gotta go, Gene. Can you imagine these shows if we had to pay 25 cents a minute?
Yeah. We'd be making money.
We would have hung up a long time ago. That's what we need, though. We need people to pay 25 cents a minute for the show.
So you want a 900 number.
Right. Oh, man. People are like, what's a 900 number? Back in the day. Oh, yeah. Thank you for calling 1-900. Fuck me now. Your hottest phone chat. If you are English, press 1. Beep. 900 numbers, man. That was the scam.
I don't think it was a scam. I think it was just early porn sites.
Yeah, porn over the phone.
Yeah, phone porn.
No pictures, no video.
No, it was
just some woman maybe talking to you.
Just somebody's grandma talking to you.
Exactly.
All sexy like.
Right.
And your imagination.
Like.
You know, that we used to have those. They don't have them anymore, but we used to have these things called imagination.
Now, you're right. Now people don't. They are very much part of the mass hypnosis thing that they just, I don't know. Can't think. Can't come up with anything new. AI will do it for us. Like, no, it won't.
Yeah.
When did 900 numbers begin? I guess I should put this
long
into
time ago, probably 70s.
Maybe I should be putting this into an AI rather than into Google.
Because you want to hear lies? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay.
There were, let's see, pay per call numbers. Oh, see, we could do that too. We could do that for like tech support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe CSB has a 900 number just for Pomeranians. Or that's what Pfeiffer says. The company that owns the 900, when did they start? They service in the USA. Wait, the first 900 number. Do you know what this was? Allegedly, according to this, the first 900 number in the United States was for the Ask President Carter program in 1977.
Told you. It was 70s.
This is where it started, was you can ask the president a question. Oh my God.
What are you wearing?
You get Jimmy Carter on the phone. Be like, yeah, this is a 900 number. Talk dirty to me. Come on, peanut farmer. Like, wow. Whoa. March of 1977 for incoming calls.
Talk to me like you're the worst president ever. Be bad.
A nationwide talk radio broadcast featuring the newly elected President Jimmy Carter, hosted by anchorman Walter Cronkite. Oh, my God. At the time, the intent
who was shilling 900 numbers, huh?
The intent for the area code 900 was as a choke exchange, a choke that blocked large numbers of simultaneous callers from jamming up the long distance network. The 900 area calls were those they expected to have a huge number of potential callers. Very interesting.
Yeah. Well, I remember voting for TV programs using that.
Going to the 900 number, like, oh, you could vote now, 50 cents. Pulse here. At that time, many evening news agencies conducted pulse polls for 50 cents a call. Can you imagine, like, really, how fucking accurate are the polls going to be when the people voting have to pay?
A hell of a lot more accurate than the polls that are free.
Maybe. One early use was Saturday Night Live producers for the sketch Larry the Lobster featuring Eddie Murphy. It drew nearly 500,000 calls.
Yeah.
AT&T and Saturday Night Live split the profits of nearly $250,000.
Huh.
So you did not know all this about 900 numbers.
Or need to.
Right. This is back in the day. Kids are like, what's a 900 number?
Apparently you can buy the Huawei.
Right, exactly. That's what I get caught up in too. I don't know how to say it.
You can buy those. I've heard this word so many times. Yeah. You can buy this on Amazon, but they tell you comes with no warranty because it's not legal for that company to be here. But you could buy them. They're available.
What if they try to spy on you, Gene?
What if they succeed at spying?
You mean like the federal government? You mean like your existing phone carrier?
Should we talk about the fiasco that happened that I totally predicted a week ago?
Which one?
The Epstein papers are going to be released.
Yes.
And I said no. And turns out no.
So we're not seeing Gene Naftulyev yet listed as Epstein adjacent.
Epstein adjacent. Yeah, I wish.
Liquid death.
Yeah.
Well, it was
I'm telling you, you're going to die, man.
It was.
I would be drinking that stuff.
It is an oddity what they did with this release of the binders. It just, I don't like to agree with the lunatics on the left, but I'm going along with the optics weren't great. Of, a bunch of people, mainly podcasters or YouTube personalities or TikTokers, whoever was all involved. I know the Libs of TikTok woman was one of them. Doing the photo op, like laughing, ha ha, we got the binders. that are allegedly filled with information
Empty.
about
They're
hundreds
empty binders. Yes.
of victims who were
So
sexually
what
assaulted.
didn't you like about that? Because I saw a couple other people on X say that same thing you just did, and I don't understand the mentality. What do you give a shit who got that data?
Well, I don't care who got it. It was, why would you do the photo app and be like all giddy that you're getting access to that data? It's like, it's kind of like you're being handed not quite as serious, but it's like, here, you're being handed the data from Auschwitz. Oh, yay, we got the data. Woohoo, let's do a photo
I think they were. I think they were more excited at just being at the White House than specifically.
That may be, but they were holding up the fucking binders, which was just
that's because they gave them the binders for the photo op that were literally empty binders.
They should have been empty binders. It didn't seem like there was anything in them that we didn't know going in as of yet. Yeah. Although it seems like today more stuff may be leaking out.
We'll probably have more leaks, but the full thing is never coming out. There's too many people involved that.
Well, they're saying enough of this was scrubbed already.
Oh, yeah. But that's what I mean. If you see stuff, it's going to be a sheet of paper with a lot of blank lines.
Yes, or the information was just deleted.
Because the reality is, it's not just the sort of generic elites like Bill Gates. Everybody knows Bill Gates, the pedophile. Everybody knows this, allegedly.
Yeah, that's Gene Naftulyev.
His wife literally divorced him because he was a pedophile, allegedly. And so it's that is no surprise that he's been on the plane out to the island like 86 times.
Yeah, but wouldn't he just take his own plane? I mean, did he need the ride?
Well, I think he probably figured this was safer because he's taking somebody else's plane.
I can understand that much.
Both of those guys were high-fiving each other.
And they're both being tracked. So I guess you're right. If you're Bill Clinton and there's a difference between Air Force One landing on Epstein Island as opposed to getting a ride on his plane. And I get it.
Right.
That much I get. So that makes sense. But
yeah. But I think the real reason that this shit can't come out isn't because, these rich people are going to be on it. Yeah. There's rich people on it. Here's the real reason it can't come out. Epstein has always worked for the U.S. government. Just because you don't like Jews doesn't mean that everybody bad is a Jew and working for Israel. And there's all these theories about Epstein working for Israel. No. Epstein was always working for the U.S. government. This was literally an illegal program that was targeting Americans by an American agency that is not supposed to conduct business in America. If that goes out, then a lot of people are going to lose their job.
Well, the whole
it's
thing,
easier to just not have it come out.
Well, and the client
because what it does is it basically shows that the U.S. government has been paying for pedophilia for decades, and nobody in government wants to have that impression that the U.S. government was actually heavily involved, that actually utilized underage girls and boys in a program that was paid for by the taxpayer. That nobody wants to have show up. And that's why this has been now, 4 years since Epstein
was
never committed suicide?
Right. And headlines on Fox right now. Trump has tense exchange with Zelensky during meeting at the White House. And why do they spell Zelensky with 2 Y's all of a sudden now, too?
That's the Ukrainian spelling.
And I know other news agencies have done that before, but
that's because they're all trying to be all like Ukraine's a real country.
Oh, okay.
With its own language and shit, which it's not. But
it's not a real country.
Not a real country. It literally means the asshole of Russia in Russian. That's what Ukraine means. No, it's they've changed the spellings of damn near everything, and they've converted it to what are, in my humble opinion, basically misspellings that were. Here's what it is. You know how there's a perception that people in the South English poorly and have a bad command of the U.S. language.
Sure.
And there's a lot of little phrases and words that, if you spell them the way that they sound, make no sense at all. So imagine if that all of a sudden became Georgia's official spelling guide for their spelling of words.
It would make sense. You would have a lot of...
And it's sort of like, okay, yes, you got colloquial, but now you're taking words that the rest of the country is using and spelling a certain way, and you're choosing to spell them differently now to match the English accent.
Well, you start seeing that. I mean, you see like y'all. I've seen that written. It's like, but that's
y'all is a real word. Shut up.
No, isn't that like the epitome of the Southern speak? Like, hey, y'all. It's you all, you know, I mean,
it is you all. Yeah. So essentially that's what a lot of these Ukrainian spellings are, is they're just a localized deviation from the Russian spelling. And people keep saying, it's a separate language. Like, dude, Ukraine literally has never been a country. It has never been a country until the fall of the Soviet Union. It's been invaded a bunch of times by other countries. Doesn't make it that country. Like when the Mongols were there, doesn't make it Mongolian. When the Tartars were there, doesn't make it Tartar. When the Turks invaded, doesn't make it Turkish. It's always been part of Russia since the early days. So trying to come up with this whole like inventing a country out of thin air, it's the same shit with Gaza. It's like never been a country, literally never been a country. It's always been controlled by whoever controls that part of the Middle East. And now it's like, we got to have a 2-state solution. We got to have two countries there. Yeah, because the Arabs that moved there from Arabia, literally named for who they are, now decided that that's where they want to live. And somehow the Jews that were the population there for over 2,500 years, they're now the colonializers. It's insanity, man.
Well, it's all insanity. But it's all just, bread and circuses. It's all just a bunch of things to keep people spun up about so they can be mad. Trump seems like he's doing some interesting stuff. Going to get some minerals from Ukraine, which is what it's all been about, right?
Which is exactly. I mean, I think this probably a very good deal for both countries. It's not like Ukraine's not going to get paid money as well. It's
right.
If it was like, okay, automatically we just own all your minerals, that'd be one thing. And that would be great for us, by the way.
Right.
But no, they did a deal where we get the rights, the exclusive rights as a country. So only American companies, I guess, can extract minerals.
And do you know how hard it is?
Europe has got to feel like, well, this is a screw.
But what kind of technology is needed to get something like lithium out of?
Well, we have to dig up all of the fields in Ukraine and pull the materials that are underneath them. So Ukraine providing food to Europe is over and done with at this point. Is it's more important that we get our components for batteries.
They're right. The electronic cars that the left loves so much.
Well, not anymore.
It's all of a sudden the green shit right off the table.
Yeah, the damn conservatives are all for the electric cars now, apparently.
Got to get rid of them. But that would be my question, which is the stories that I have heard say that Ukraine would need a partner, whether it's the United States, it could have probably been some European countries, but they needed a partner to provide the technology for them to get the minerals that they have to the point to where they can monetize them to do the mining. So, I mean, if the United States and nobody else was helping them, I guess it would be a long time before Ukraine could mine lithium in a way that where they could monetize and sell this. Is that
no, they could mine it, but mining isn't done for free. These are like $1 billion operations to set up a mine and extract material.
So it's not as much about the technology as the money to back what needs to be done.
Yeah, they could have been pulling this shit out many years ago if they would have gotten the right investments coming into them. But everybody knew up until 3 years ago, apparently, that you can't do business with Ukraine because they'll rob and cheat and steal from you.
Oh, yeah.
It is
one of
the most corrupt country north of the Middle East. Everybody knew this.
This is where
you can find your articles from the BBC literally saying Ukraine most corrupt country in Europe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you wanted to launder money, you wanted to go with arms and it's probably going through Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
The great Wild West.
The place that lost half the money that was sent to it. Amazing.
Now, do you buy into it? It makes sense, I think.
No, I haven't bought any Ukrainian property yet.
Buy into the lithium Ukraine. Do it now before anybody catches up.
I'm looking at stocks, man, because it's going to be American companies at this point. So there's only a limited number of companies that can.
Which also, I'm guessing this means this is like the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like they're talking with Greenland. My guess is if whatever, companies X, Y, and Z with America backing go into Ukraine to mine the lithium, it's going to be, to protect our interests. I mean, we're going to need some American boots on the ground, military there. And once there's American military in Ukraine, that makes it a lot harder for Putin to try to do anything with Ukraine. It changes the whole aspect of what's going on there. Because now
Putin was never doing anything with Ukraine to begin with. I mean, it's Ukraine that wanted to do things that Putin didn't like. Ukraine
attacked Russia, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, Ukraine had a fairly pro-Russian, although not, I wouldn't even call it pro-Russian. I'd say it was just not anti-Russian. They had a Russia ambivalent government until Hillary Clinton brought in the revolution to replace it. And so prior to that revolution, prior to 2014, there was no reasonable risk for Russia of Ukraine holding missiles aimed at Russia. Like that was just not a likely possibility. After the revolution that Hillary brought in, that possibility greatly rose. And so now it's sort of like, if things keep going the way they are, there probably will end up being missiles in Ukraine, literally across the border from Russia, aimed at Moscow, which is only a couple hours away. And that is why they had to go in there. And because threats stopped working. Like Russia saying, guys, you can't do this. This is a red line for us. Didn't work because the administration under Obama just completely laughed it off. They ignored that. So there was no other choice other than to go in and have the special military operation there. And if anyone thinks the U.S. would have done anything different at all with Mexico, you're insane. Because if China brings in, I mean, look at what we already did this with Panama, right? China doesn't even have any military assets in Panama. What they have is commercial assets. Like they got the contract to run the canal. Makes sense. They probably underbid everybody else, right? And Panama doesn't have enough native staff to do this. So they had China bid for it. China won, part of their Belt and Road Initiative. And the first thing Trump did when he came in is like, no, that's not going to happen. Either we're going to take over the canal or the Panamanians are going to run it, but it's not going to be a competitor of ours.
Well, no, because the United States was not getting a deal. It's like, they're being charged more to go through the canal, which of course adds to pricing on everything.
Well, we're being charged more because somebody else is running it. Yeah.
That's why you do it yourself.
Absolutely.
That's why Trump was a genius when he's like, I'll take over Gaza. And then all of a sudden people are tripping over themselves to take over Gaza.
Oh, yeah.
Like
no,
Trump
I think
really want Gaza.
I honestly think if the U.S. took over Gaza, it would be hilarious.
I mean, it'd be a nice vacation spot for you.
Because, yeah, exactly. I would totally go vacation there. Absolutely. Can you imagine having a little miniature Puerto Rico in the Middle East that we could go to and
nice.
not have to bring a passport?
Well, even better.
Yeah. Yeah. It just U.S. territory. I think that's not a bad way to go. And I think you can do that with zero military purely by pressuring our, again, other frenemy Middle Eastern countries like Saudi Arabia and Egypt to take that population of people.
Right. And that was what it's all about, which is if you're going, this place is no longer standing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know why you think this is more humanitarian as some of the people on the left, like, how are you going to force these people out? Well, the alternative is to totally raise everything in their country and rebuild while they live in a tent 2 feet away.
Yeah. For 10 years.
Yeah. I don't understand how that's the more humanitarian way to go rather than, hey, you know what? We need to, because of the fact that it was a war-torn and there are bombs and it's like, this is not an easy thing that needs to be done, the rebuilding of that area.
Mm-hmm.
To make it safe. You need to go through, you need to demolish a lot of buildings, you need to make sure there's no mines and explosives and all these kind of things to be like, well, no, we don't want to push these people out of their homes. Well, their homes are already gone. These are the same fucking people that love it when 18 million people walk into the United States. Well, why don't you love these people going to a country that's not fucking rubble while their country maybe is being repaired? I mean, really just turned into a big Club Med where maybe they could go back and work one day.
Yeah.
I get that part of it. It's like...
What's crazy is before that attack, even with all the tensions, they were, I think it was, I can't remember if it was over 100,000 or under 100,000, but there were tens of thousands of people that lived in Gaza that crossed the border every day and worked in Israel. Like, it wasn't this, oh, it's an open air prison bullshit that's being propagated.
Right.
There may have not been much love happening back and forth, but certainly people living in Gaza got to work. So they crossed the border legally and going through all the checkpoints, and then just, went to their jobs, came back home to Gaza. There was images of restaurants and bars and, well, maybe not bars, I guess it's a Muslim country, but certainly restaurants and nice beachfront property that was in Gaza that only Arabs were allowed to go to. And it wasn't like some shithole that it is now after the bombings, obviously. But like, how do you not blame the people that actually crossed over into Israel to go on a mass murder rampage?
Right.
How do you not blame them for what's happened there? Because that's who's to blame. Absolutely 100%. No two ways about it. Because there were relations between tons of people from Gaza and Israelis, and they were cordial. They may not have been super friendly, but they were certainly cordial.
It is a sickness.
Yeah,
it is.
And it is great. And the other thing, there's a video that I reposted the other day, which is a very good video that actually went through the history of the region, and it showed that the people that are claiming to be the original owners of that land, the Palestinians, the so-called Palestinians, because there's no such thing, they moved there. Their ancestors moved to that area during the spread of Islam around 1000 AD. Like, there were no Arabs living in that part of the world. Zero. They hadn't spread that far. The Arab culture is actually kind of delayed. I don't want to use the word retarded here because it has other meanings, but in the actual sense of the word retarded, meaning delayed, it had a delayed cultural awakening compared to even their neighbors, the Persians. Like the Persians were ahead of the Arabs in a lot of ways, in their science and culture, and their empirical ambitions as well. And then, you know, by the time that Arabs got to the Middle East, which was mostly populated by three groups, the North Africans, like the Egyptians, which are very distinct from Arabs. They're lighter skinned. They have different facial features. Actual Europeans from Greece, these would have been the what the hell's their name? They're from Crete, but they're called the
Croatians,
not Palestinians, but the
Croatians.
No. What's the word? It's where the word Palestine originates from. They were the Palpatines. No, what am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Star Wars.
Yeah, not Star Wars. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm having
the B-12 did not make it all the way through the episode.
Yeah. Anyway, them, and then of course the Jews, which have been in that area for already over 500 years. So the Arabs coming in there was a later stage phenomenon, and it was during really the conquest of Islam, and to which response, incidentally, it was to the spread of Islam through the Arabs that the Crusades happened. And so in the 11th and 12th century, Europeans decided to ensure the safety of travels of the pilgrim going to the Holy Land. Why did they need to have military provide safety for them all of a sudden when they didn't for the first 1,000 years of Christianity? Oh, well, it is because of the spread of Islam carried out by the migration of the Arabs. So I get it that European history, or certainly Middle Eastern history, is not taught in American schools.
Nor is American history.
Nor is American history. And American history is only 250 years old, where we're talking here about thousands of years ago, or at least 8,000 years ago.
But people believe what they want to believe, Gene.
But yeah, but it's shake your head level of embarrassment to see people that are absolutely clueless about history and about culture sitting there and saying that the Jews in Israel are the colonizers. Like that level of insanity. It'd be the same kind of people that would be trying to argue that Jews from Germany all decided to go to vacation in Poland in Auschwitz. Like, it's that level of stupidity.